Hi friends, it's the 5th of the month and you know what that means. It's the 5 under 5 DIY challenge. So let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'll be making a mini cutting board sign for my kitchen. At Walmart this year, I found these mini rolling pins. They were $2.98 for the pack. I just had to buy them. Aren't they adorable? At this point, I don't know which one I'm going to use, but I will be using one of them. So they were $2.98, so it makes it about 75 cents a piece. And I'm just going to take this mini cutting board from the Dollar Tree and give it a good coat front and back with some white chalk paint. And then I took Santa Red color by Decor and just painted the sides of the cutting board. From the Dollar Tree, you can buy these little mini pies. They come 4 in a pack with a clothespin on the back to clip it to whatever you would like. And I painted it with a very light coat of white chalk paint, making sure I can still see those details so I can outline it with a marker. And here I'm just trying to find the right marker that I want to use. And I found this very fine tip one that I had, and I'm going to use that to outline the details on this pie. You'll want to remove the clothespin on the back. Mine was very glued on there, I must say. So I only removed half of it and the spring. I wanted to remove all of it, but I was afraid I was going to crack that pie. So now I'm just going to outline my pie with the marker, and then I'm going to take some watered down red paint and I'm going to paint the apple. And then I took 2 different colors of brown, khaki and caramel, watered them down, and I filled in for the pie. I did go back over all the little details on the pie with my marker. The paint covered it up just a bit, and I wanted it to stand out. And then with my Cricut, I cut out the words, "It's beginning to smell a lot like Christmas," with some red vinyl. And here I'm trying to decide which rolling pin I want to use. They're all so adorable, but I went with this one because I'm trying to stay with that red and white thing that I've got going on here. So I'm not going to use this hanger, the red ribbon here. I am going to hang this with some red and white twine. I attached the rolling pin to the twine, and then I wrapped the twine around the neck of the cutting board, and then I added the pie. I just laid it there down at the bottom of the cutting board. I'm trying to get a feel of where I want to lay down my decal, so just to get the spacing right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply my wording onto the cutting board. I decided to go ahead and glue the rolling pin down and then wrap the cord around the neck of the cutting board. It was much easier this way, so I just glued it down. I'm going to wrap it around and then glue the back side, the ends down, and cut away the excess. And then I'm going to make a cute little bow using that same red and white twine, and I'm just going to add that to the neck as well. And we can't forget a hanger, so I'm going to use that same red and white twine, and I'm just going to slip it through the hole there, come back out the back side, pull them through the loop, and then tie a little slip knot, and there's my hanger. And then I just felt like the little bow, the tails of the bow just weren't sitting where I wanted them to. So I just trimmed some, glued it where I wanted, and this DIY is done. And here is my cutting board. It's beginning to smell a lot like Christmas sign. Okay, let's move on to DIY number 2. For this DIY, I will be making a Merry Christmas sign using these shadow box / frames, media frames from the Dollar Tree. I love these signs. I use them quite often. They have the rectangle size and they also have square. I'm going to remove the hanger and I'm going to get to painting. Using some white chalk paint, I'm going to paint the frame outside and front face only on this media sign. And then off camera, I went ahead and painted 5 bell-shaped wood pieces from the Dollar Tree with that same white chalk paint. And then I have these stickers. These came from Walmart in a giant pack. I can't remember how much they costed. I'm so sorry. It's been a while. They've been in my stash. I'm going to take some letters and I'm going to spell out the word Merry, adding each letter to each bell.
Come on in, come on up, come on over for the merriest time of year. Come on up, come on in, get together for a good time. Smile, my dear. Come on in, come on up.
Then with my Cricut, I cut out the word Christmas with some black vinyl, and I'm going to apply the Christmas word first down to the bottom of my sign here. That way I know where to lay the other word, Merry. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to apply this decal as far down as I can get it on this media sign. So I want my bells to dangle with a piece of twine, and this way, now that my Christmas word is down, I know where to lay these or how far down to dangle my bells. I'm going to take some red beads, also from the Dollar Tree, along with some bear beads, and I'm just going to add some beads in between each bell. Okay. To shorten my video, I went ahead and deleted the first attempt to dangle the bells onto the jute. I didn't tie a knot through each loop on the bell and the wood piece, so my bells did not dangle correctly. I tried to glue the M down. As you can see, I pulled it up. You can see where I glued it there. I took it apart. I redid it, making sure to knot each bell. So I'm showing you here with my last one. See how I'm tying a knot there? That way the bell will stay in place. You don't have to glue it. I will make sure and dangle the M to cover up where I previously glued and took it apart. So I just wanted to mention that to you all. If you do want to recreate this, it looks much nicer if you do go ahead and knot each bell to your twine. That way it lays flat, and you don't have to use any glue. So okay, I'm just gonna stop there and I'm gonna start beading my beads, my last beads, and then I'll just glue that to each corner up at the top, right where I want it to dangle, just like that. Do you see what I mean? How the bells are now facing forward. When I didn't knot them, they just kind of wanted to dangle, facing all one way to the side. So anyway, that's what I'm doing here. So I added some glue to the corner, just pushed it in there, smushed it with whatever I could find. Hey, full disclosure here. And then I'm just going to trim off the excess, and then we'll just keep on working on this Merry Christmas sign. I went ahead and added some jute as my hanger, and I tied the knot in the front instead of the back. That way my sign will sit flush against the wall, and I will be covering the knots with some embellishments. Taking this wreath that I picked up from the thrift store a couple years ago, I'm just going to clip off some pieces. I don't need this wreath for anything. I have plenty of wreaths, but I do like the greenery on this particular wreath. So I'm just going to cut off some pieces and use that for embellishing my sign. Now I have some mini pine cones that I want to use as well. And I'm just going to start embellishing the top of this sign, covering up where I did knot the hanger. I'm just going to add some pine branches just like so, just to my liking. We're all different, so if you recreate this, just make it, make it your own. So here I'm just messing around, just having some fun and embellishing the top of the sign.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around.
Sometimes I like to trim the ends of my pine branches just to make them a little pointy on the ends, and that's what I did there, just gluing things down. And then I'm going to start adding some pine cones.
These are the good times with you, baby. This year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh.
And here's this one, Merry Christmas sign. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this 5 under 5 DIY challenge. Every 5th of the month, this is a open playlist, $5 under $5 DIY challenge, and it's hosted by Missi from the Crafty Cove and Emily from Farm Charm Chic. Every month they have a co-host, and this month is Ellie. I just love Ellie to pieces. She's such a sweetheart, and oh boy is she talented. And her channel name is DIY from House to Home. Go check her out. Go check Emily and Missi out if you are new to my channel, and watch the playlist. You are going to be amazed by all the talent in this challenge. I will leave Missi's, Ellie's, and Emily's channel names down in my description box, as well as the playlist, so you can go check everything out. DIY number 3, I'll be making a Noel tabletop decor. I'm going to take one of these heavy pieces of decor you can buy from the Dollar Tree. This one is 18 inches long, and boy oh boy are these heavy. You can actually use these as a weapon, let me tell you. Anyway, I cut this piece of wood. I cut a 7-inch, a 6 3/4 inch, and a 3 3/4 inch, and it left about a 1/2 inch sliver, because in total this piece is around 18 inches. Anyway, so I painted off camera to save time. I painted one in the color dusk, the largest piece. Then the second to the largest, the 6 3/4, I painted sandstone. And then for the 3 3/4, I just mixed the colors Christmas green and white to get that shade there. And then with my Cricut, I cut out the words N-E-L. I'll be using the O. I'll be using a piece of decor for the O, I should say. And here I'm just laying things out and making sure everything's going to fit nice. And then I'll start applying those letter decals.
Christmas lights are all around. I can see them now. It's like they spell your name. It's insane. Now we're back here once again.
Before I added any more decals to the pieces of wood, I wanted to piece everything together to make sure you can see the letters. And there I have a dowel that I painted white. You know, the sponge painters from the Dollar Tree, they're kind of flimsy and they do fall off. So I keep those and I just painted it white with the white chalk paint. And then I have this wreath that's absolutely beautiful. I can't remember if I got that from the Dollar Tree or Walmart because they both have them and the tag was not on it. So anyway, I'm going to use that as the O. And then I have a scrap piece of wood. It's one of those same heavy, long pieces of board, the decor, but it was like a summer one, and it's a little bit thicker. It's shorter and thicker, but it's just scrap wood that I had used a piece a long time ago. So I'm going to use that as the base because it's thicker and it's going to be sturdy to hold all my pieces together. So that's what I'm doing here. Just kind of get a feel where I want to put things. You know, do I want the L in the front? Do I want it in the back? So on and so on.
Holidays and cheer, but now I got my eye set on you. I'm not gonna.
Okay, so I think I got things pretty well figured out in my head. Hopefully it works out. That's what I'm thinking at the time. So I'm going to glue that E right on top of that piece of scrap wood, just like that. And then I'm going to glue that dowel right to the back of that wreath so it looks like it's, kind of standing on a pole, if you will. I cut off the tag on the top and just kind of moved around that fur to cover it up. And I wasn't real sure about that bow. I kept looking at it like, oh, should I take it off? Should I leave it? I just wasn't sure. But anyway, I continued on and I just figuring out how high I want that wreath to sit as the O. So I just glued that to the back. And I do have to say it wasn't very sturdy because I was gluing onto fur. So what I did is I used a lot of hot glue on the sides of the dowel and just made sure it was as sturdy as I could get it. And then I just started gluing everything together. The N is sitting forward, the O is sitting back, the E is sitting on top of that scrap piece of wood or the base, and the L will sit forward as well. And then I just felt like this piece needed a little something more. It was cute the way it is, but I just was not feeling it was complete for some reason. So I took 3 pieces of Jenga blocks and I'm going to glue them all together end to end. And then I'm going to paint it with white chalk paint. I grabbed some mini trees from the Dollar Tree. There's 2 different kinds here. They do come in a pack of 6, I believe. So I have some white ones and some green flocked ones. And on these little trees, there's a wood piece on the bottom and the trees are standing with a piece of wire. So on the bottom, they don't sit flat sometimes because the wire is pushed through. So I just twisted them just to get them flat. And then I'm going to paint all of the bases with white chalk paint. I have this roll of wood banding from pandahall.com, and boy, am I loving it. There are so many things you can use this for. So what I'm going to use it for today is those jingle blocks. When I glued them together, you know how you can see the seams? So I'm going to use a piece of wood banding to cover that up and use that as a face, if you will. And also the jingle blocks, I couldn't fit one more in that space between the N and the L, so I did cut 2 small pieces for each end and to fill that in. So I just didn't like the way it was looking, so that is what I'm going to use to cover up my flaws, if you will. And like I said before, this bow, I was not feeling this bow, but I did not want to take it off. I thought it was pretty. I liked the ribbon itself. So what I did is I just trimmed it. I added some pine cones to it, and it just looked a lot better, in my humble opinion. Then I just started gluing the trees down, altering the colors, green then white, green then white, and I just added those right on top of the jingle blocks. And here's those 2 pieces that I cut off of a jingle block, painted them white, and I'm just going to glue those right into place there to fill in the sides. And then I'll add the wood banding to the front, and this DIY is finally done. Okay, moving on to DIY number 4. If you are new to my channel and you're stopping by for the first time and you like what you see, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you join my YouTube family. And don't forget to hit that like button and share if you would like. If you see something that one of your friends or family would like to make, they're crafters, and yeah, share my video with them so they can make one for themselves. For this DIY, I'm going to take another one of those long tabletop decor pieces. I did remove the paper and I cut 2 pieces 7 inches long. And I didn't mention in the first or the last DIY, to remove the paper, I just spray it with water and I just let it soak. And then I just scrape it with a scraper or a spatula and it just comes right off, and then I just wipe it down. And so here is where I'm going to cut another 2 pieces. So there, it was 18 inches long. So I cut 2 pieces at 7 inches. So there was a little piece left. And what I did is I cut that one in half, but long ways. So those will be my 2 little ledges that I'll be using for this DIY. I glued the 2 pieces together, as you can see here. And then I gave it a good coat front and back and sides with the color Santa Red by Deco Art. And then to tone down that red, I took some white chalk paint and I just distressed the piece front and sides only. And then I do have these letters, the J and the Y for the word joy, and I painted those with white chalk paint front and sides. These are 3-inch letters. I got these from Amazon, but you can also get letters from the Dollar Tree, and even Walmart are not too expensive. I've had these in my stash for quite some time, so I don't remember exactly how much I paid for them. I'm so sorry. And then to define my letters, I'm going to take a black paint pen and I'm just going to run the tip all around the edges of the letter J and Y.
Come on in, come on up, come on over for the merriest time of
I glued down the letter Y first, lining it up with the very top edge of my piece as far to the edge of the side and to the top. And then I'm going to use that little piece that I cut in half, and that's going to be a little ledge, and it's also going to help my piece to stand up and not topple over. So here I'm just kind of measuring where things are going to go. I have this hook that I took off a DIY a few weeks back, and I just bent the tip up to make a hanger for a cute little ornament that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I cut some pieces off of a craft stick, and I'm going to use that to anchor my hook on the back of my piece to make sure that that is nice and sturdy. And here I'm just kind of getting a feel to make sure everything fits nice and everything is spaced out nice. So I'm just kind of hanging on to that letter J, getting a feel where I want to glue the next piece. I went ahead and I glued my J down to the opposite side of the Y, and then I will start embellishing the front of this sign. I cut off a piece, or I had this piece left over that I cut in my previous DIY on this video, and I'm just going to use those pieces to kind of lay down underneath the word joy and just embellish it a bit. Now glue down the hanger to the back of the sign. I did mark it where I wanted it to glue. I used a craft stick, those pieces to anchor, like I said. So I just glued them down on the sides and just around it and made sure everything was nice and secure. Cutting off a little tiny piece of that pine branch, I'm going to add just a little bit to the top of that ornament just to embellish it just a bit. And then I had some red twine, and I'm just going to make a cute little bow and add that right on top of that little green piece.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately.
And then I grabbed some red berries that I've had in my stash, and I just started taking it apart and just adding it to the pine branch there sitting on the ledge, and just embellished it a bit. I just want to take a moment and thank Missi, Emily, and Ellie for hosting this challenge this month. I had so much fun creating. And don't forget to go check everyone's channels out, watch the playlist, and show everyone some love and support. For my last DIY today, I'm going to make a super simple one. I don't even know if I could call it a DIY. I'm going to take this Christmas tree from the Dollar Tree, as well as this jar. They sold these around Valentine's Day. It says date night on it. I just ran it under some hot water and scraped it with a plastic spatula, and it came right off. These did have a cork top, but I won't be using that today. I also grabbed some berries, and I'm going to embellish that Christmas tree with those berries. But first, I want to add a decal of my own. I cut out the word Merry Christmas with green vinyl, and I'm just going to add that to the front of the jar. I grabbed a paper towel, wadded it up, and stuffed it inside the jar. I didn't glue it down though, just in case I want to change things down the road. I'm just going to glue the base of that Christmas tree right on top of that paper towel. And then I just started embellishing the tree with those berries. I didn't even use glue. I just stuffed them in there. And I guess with the static of the tree, they stayed in there nice. So easy peasy. And there they are, friends. I hope you enjoyed my video today. I hope I gave you some inspiration to get to crafting. Like I said, share my video if you know anyone who crafts and they can get some ideas. We bounce off each other. That's what makes this YouTube group so awesome. All right, I will talk to everyone in my next video. You all stay blessed out there. Bye for now.